Alrighty, good morning, guys. How you doing? Looking good this morning. Nice little push to the upside. Broke through some key resistance. Lower or higher low potentially. Maybe a higher high building. Should be interesting. This is a pretty decent looking chart. I will say. I mean, this is the Nasdaq daily. Nice pullback. Higher low. Broke out of this resistance. I don't know. We'll see what happens today, but that's a pretty positive. That's a pretty positive little indication of some strength here on the market today. So could see some nice moves today. Definitely, definitely looking to see if I can catch any of this movement. Still holding Apple, still holding Microsoft swings, so that's good. That'll be a positive for sure today. I'm happy with those two. And then maybe just, scalp some of this upside. We got a lot of stocks that are looking pretty good this morning. Nasdaq's up 1.2, which is most of the upside is across large cap tech. You got 1.25 on the Nasdaq, and you got 0.6 on the Dow and 0.85 on the ES. So mainly a large cap tech move here this morning on this Nasdaq breakout. So pretty good looking stuff. Let's not, never want to get too excited here, but this is finally a day that looks like we might actually get some real price action. That's what I'm looking forward to. I just want to see some actual movement in the stock market. That's all I ask for as a trader. Just a little bit of volatility and some movement rather than just sideways and chop. So hopefully today is one of those days, and we'll look at a few names that look very interesting here. So let's go ahead and do that. So if you guys could press that like button, subscribe. Also, we have I think like one or two left of the, if you guys are interested, of the merch and the desk mat. So if you guys want to check those out, options-insider.com/merch. All right, cool. So today is the 9th of February, Wednesday. First thing I want to say is tomorrow is CPI data. So that could be, that could change some things. In my opinion, I don't really think, anything crazy is going to be talked about tomorrow as long as we continue to stay on the track that has already been outlined. I don't expect this market to really freak out. The only thing that's going to cause big downside on CPI is unknown and unforeseen changes to the plan of interest rates, tapering, balance sheet, all of that. The only thing that's going to cause, downside that we may not understand or may not foresee is unknown and unforeseen changes to that plan. I think if the Fed comes out tomorrow or not the Fed, if CPI comes out, CPI numbers come out, and they're sort of in line with what's expected, then I think we're going to be okay. I don't expect there to be huge downside. Now, of course, that we have to see what the numbers are, because that could definitely change if it's worse than expected. But I don't know. I think we just continue to see if we stay on this track. I think everyone knows that interest rates are coming. Everyone knows that bond tapering is here. So as long as that continues, I just want to continue to watch the price action. That's my main focus, the price action. Right now, price action is showing me that there is some strength down here on the market. So let's continue to watch that. Let's continue to watch what's actually happening and not worry about things that we cannot predict. So that's my motto, right? I don't want to try to predict things that I cannot predict. I'm trying to stay tuned with what's going on with the market real time and what is the price action telling me. So tomorrow we have CPI data. That is going to be important. That will probably cause some volatility. We'll see what happens. Tomorrow is the day. Earnings calendar. We did have a few earnings last night. I'll go ahead and pull those up. Here we go. So earnings calendar for anyone that's interested. Yesterday we had Peloton, we had Enphase, Chipotle, Corsair, Lyft, Spirit Airlines. Today CVS, Yum Brands, Honda. I don't trade that stock, but after close today, do you plan to ready yourself for the downturn in case? I don't really try to, I don't need to. I don't like to say that, but I really don't need to plan for downside because nothing that I have exposed is going to affect me. The money I have in my long-term portfolio, the money that I have in, of 2 option contracts to the upside, it's just not something that I need to worry about. I'm not overexposed. So when you're not overexposed to the stock market, there's just nothing to worry about. I think it's something that like a lot of people don't understand. As long as you don't expose yourself, then there's no harm, no foul. So just don't expose yourself to risks that you can't take. And it's very easy. And then you don't need to do anything. So if the downside comes, yeah, sure, I'll lose some unrealized money in my long term. Who cares? What's the big deal? That's money that I'm okay putting into a long-term portfolio. I don't care if it's unrealized red. It makes no difference to me. I know that if I continue to dollar cost average into the market with money I'm okay risking, then everything will be okay. So no, I don't have plans if there's a downturn. It doesn't matter to me. I'll scalp the downside if anything. So Walt Disney tonight, Wednesday. Walt Disney, Uber, Twilio, Zynga, Sonos, iRobot, MGM Resorts. Thursday, Coca-Cola, Pepsi, Datadog, AstraZeneca. Affirm, Thursday after close. Affirm, Twitter, Cloudflare, Zillow, Upwork. Is that Expedia Group? Yeah. And that's what we have for the rest of the week. All right. So that's that. Let's go ahead and jump into some of these stocks that I really like the look of on a few of these. Nvidia, the first one. I really want to take an Nvidia swing trade. I talked about this in my video yesterday. I really want to get into this. I don't know if it's the right time, but I think I'm going to do it with some longer dated contracts. Maybe some Junes or Julys is what I'd really prefer. I'm going to see how expensive they are and if I'm willing to take that risk. But I really like the Nvidia chart. I really like the opportunity Nvidia is presenting. I believe Nvidia should be higher. I'm very confident in Nvidia in the long term. There's a lot of reasons why I think this is a good opportunity on Nvidia, and I'll show you guys the technicals and sort of talk through my mindset. But I like Nvidia a lot, and I want to show you guys that today. Tesla, 950, 960 level. Big resistance that we're approaching this morning. Big levels we need to watch. If we get through those levels, I think you're going to 1,000. I've said this before. We just need to get through 950, 960 with some really nice strength. Apple, just, what else is there to say about Apple, guys? It's just the best stock in the stock market by any means, hands down. It's like 3.5%. We're going to go over futures. We're just going through the schedule right now. It's just the best stock. Apple is like 3.5% off the highs. It's hitting this resistance level at 177, which could probably cause some resistance and some downside. But, I just love it. I continue to buy shares. I continue to hold my option contracts. Apple looks great, guys. Google filled that gap, guys. Yesterday, completely filled the gap on the daily chart. So we got the gap filled. Now, if the market is strong, I would believe that Google will hold that gap as support and start to move back higher. So I definitely think Google is an opportunity as well. We'll see how the market reacts, but Google is a stock that we all know will move higher in the longer term. We saw the earnings numbers. They were incredible. It pulled back because of the overall market weakness. I believe Google, if you're someone that has Google in your long-term portfolio, I believe this is a fantastic opportunity to maybe add more shares or at least look for some short-term opportunities here. So Google, definitely one that will be on my watch today. Amazon is breaking out of a channel this morning. Let's take a look at that. AMD, 132 key level. Let's look at that. Microsoft over 305. This is a big level for Microsoft, $305 a share. Let's watch that 305 level. We did get above it this morning on pre-market. We held 300, which was a very important support level. And I continue to hold my Microsoft options. April 335s. I regret taking the 335s. I think they're a little bit too far out of the money. I'm getting a little bit affected by them. if I see any upside on those option contracts, I will most likely sell them and buy longer dated and closer to the money contracts, because I think I messed up on the contract I purchased because it's losing a lot of value and the stock really hasn't moved. So it's just sort of getting affected because of how far out of the money it was. So maybe I'll adjust that position. Can Facebook bounce? I think that's a question that a lot of us have. It's a question I would like to be watching, that I would like to answer and watch, because I believe a Facebook bounce could be very lucrative. If you actually get a Facebook bounce, if there's actually some buying going on, there could be a very lucrative opportunity. However, Facebook has been a dead stock. I mean, it continues to move lower. Even with some Nasdaq strength, it moves lower. So Facebook continues to get sold off. We'll see what happens today. But definitely worth watching today. I think it definitely could have some sympathy to the upside if the Nasdaq pushes higher. So let's watch Facebook. All right. After that, sideways burnout, out of money mark stuff. Yeah, Henry, it sort of sucks. I went a little too far out, but it's okay. I mean, it's $300. I'll survive. But I definitely would like to get a better contract. So members, after we do the live stream, we'll go over what the members want to look at. If you guys are a member of the YouTube channel, if you want to support the channel, or if you want me to look at your stocks every day, go ahead and press that join button down below. And you can put in your tickers that we can watch on a daily basis. All right, let's do it. Nasdaq. So here's the daily chart. Let's start with the daily chart. I really like this formation. It's definitely not like fully confidence inspiring. I'm not like, oh, this is it, we're going to highs. But this is a good start to a hold. It really is. So right here around 14.4, you guys can see previous support, and we turned that into some beautiful support here again, guys. All of this week we held 14.4. That's really nice. I mean, that's pretty solid. The fact that we're pushing off of it again is pretty solid as well. So I mean, this is you got to look at this and say, okay, market's holding some key levels. I have to understand that, and I have to see if there's opportunity here, because that is opportunity, right? So this was the first opportunity. Pull back to another key level. That's another opportunity, in my opinion. This level comes all the way back to June and July of last year, right? It's not like it's just some short-term level. If I go into, say, the hourly chart, look at this level, guys. You see this green bar? That green bar, I didn't just draw that. I drew that on the daily chart. So you can see the green bar on the daily chart from here, and drag it over to now. And if I go to the hourly, you can see, look at what this market did this week, guys. It turned that from resistance again into support. That's got to show you something, guys. It's got to show you something. That's got to give you some kind of confidence here. I'm not saying you go full portfolio into call options. That's not ever the plan, no matter how good the stock looks. But that is a very nice technical support that we have held here. I really like that. So I'm pretty excited to see that. And then this breakout of 14.8 this morning is also very, very nice. So we had this next resistance, 14.8. You guys know, right here, right? 14.8, 14.8, 14.8. Big time resistance. We got rejected. We got rejected again yesterday. But here in the pre-market, we are breaking through that level. Could this cause upside? Absolutely. The same way it caused upside here, right? The same way we broke out of resistance and had a squeeze to the upside, this could absolutely happen again. So if that does, and if we actually make a higher high, I don't want to say the words because people are going to get all upset, but I really do believe that if we do make a higher high here and we hold it, then I do believe that we have found a short-term bottom. I really do, because if we made consecutive higher lows and higher highs, that's a very good indication of a trend. It's a very good indication of support, and that would be enough for me to say, hey, I think we might have bottomed here if we get a higher high. Now we have not done that yet. Right? We still need to break this higher high. If we break this higher high, turn it into support for a few days, something like this, right? And then bounce again and break over this and make another higher high, that would be exactly what I would want to see on this market. And that would definitely give me the confidence to say, I think this market has bottomed. If we get this formation, right? We're already starting to get it. Support, higher high. Support at previous highs, maybe a higher high. That's what we need. And then support at previous highs and make a higher high. That is exactly what you want to see here on this market. So that's what I'm watching. That's what I would like to see. And we'll see what happens, guys. We'll see what happens here. So that's what I'm watching today in the Nasdaq. You guys can see a nice breakout over 14.8. I would like to see 14.8 hold as support now today. I would like for the Nasdaq to close above 14.8 by end of day today. That would be my key. So we're up about 140 points over 14.8, so we're at 14.940. I would want to see us close above 14.8. That would be best case scenario. And then really, there's really not much resistance. Maybe right here at 14.960, there will be some resistance at 15,000 psychological. There always will be at psychological numbers. But if we get through those two, this is a pretty quick ride up towards these highs. There's not much resistance here. So just watch this 14.960, 15,000 as resistance. I'll actually keep that on my charts. The reason I have that level is right here, guys. So you can see these tops right here, top and top. You draw that over 14.960. I think that is probably where you start to get a little bit of resistance. And then the next level is going to be 15,000. So 14.960, 15,000 to the upside, and hold 14.8 by end of day today. That would be key. All right. The ES, it looks the same, right? Beautiful. Nice little hold at the previous resistance. You can see right here. Right, nice little hold there. Previous resistance turning into support, 44.70. We need to get over this. We need to get over this. We need to get over this 45.85. Right, that is what we need to get over. So right here, 45.85. That is what you want to see break. If you get that break over 45.85, that would be a very nice opportunity for some squeeze to the upside. So we'll see. That would be a higher high, and that would be an indication of an uptrend. So we'll see what happens. We will see, 44.70, and see if that holds today. We got a nice little breakout here this morning out of this channel. So you can see right here, resistance, 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 resistance. We got the breakout of that resistance today. So that will cause a little bit of upside, which you are already seeing here in the pre-market. So nice push higher, 45.15. Nice squeeze over that resistance. And we just need to watch 45.85 today, if you get up to that. So that's the big level to watch is resistance, 45.85 on the ES. On the daily chart, it's pretty close to all-time highs again. Really not that far off, right? What are we? We're about 4.5% off all-time highs on the ES. Before you know it, guys, we're going to be back. And a lot of people are going to miss out on this opportunity, in my opinion. Because this is 4.5% off highs. That's like possibly 3 days that we could, if we really get on a push, that's literally like 2 or 3 days on the ES. You have 3-4 good days on the ES and you're back at all-time highs. You guys can be cautious. I'm definitely cautious as well, but you can't, there is a difference between being cautious, and there's a difference between, there's a difference between being cautious and taking opportunity when it presents itself. And then there's being overcautious and just being, you don't believe what you're seeing. So as of right now, I have to believe what I'm seeing. What I'm seeing is strong support and making higher lows, and that is why I'm looking for upside here, because this looks good. It looks good on every technical factor. If it breaks down again off CPI, great. We'll play the downside, but as of right now, I just can't ignore this. This looks very good technically, and we are just about 4% off all-time highs on the ES. Before you know it, this dip is going to be gone, in my opinion. It all depends on what happens here in the near future, but I think there is some very nice strength here. Very nice strength. Nice previous resistance into support. Yeah, 46, 45.80 right in that area. That'll be big. I totally agree. 4,600. Yeah, probably that psychological 46. Yeah, right in this area. It's probably going to be, pretty big level. Right up here. All right, there. 4,600. You got this previous support here. Some chop in that area. Resistance, support, 4,600. That'll be big. But we'll see what happens, guys. We'll see what happens. No one knows, which way the market's going to go off CPI. So if you're like 100% confirmed that the market's going to go down off CPI, you're just you're totally guessing. So you just don't quite know. So you gotta take what you can see, guys. You gotta take the opportunities that present themselves in front of your eyes on the charts. We can't predict what's going to happen. So the Dow looks fantastic. I mean, the Dow is crazy strong. I mean, to this resistance line, what are we? We're 1.9%. That's a day away from that. And from here, 3%. That's like 3 days away from all-time highs if we have good days here on the Dow. So crazy. I mean, the Dow is basically back at all-time highs. You're 3% off. And this looks like a fantastic bounce. Very structured, very good technicals. Previous support turned into absolutely gorgeous support again. Look at that. That's just perfect. Held this very, very strong. This wasn't even a drop. This wasn't even a drop to be concerned of. I mean, look at this in hindsight, guys. There's nothing to be concerned about here. It's completely sideways. It's a little bit of a dip, some market panic. Beautiful hold, beautiful consolidation, beautiful support, and we're getting our pushback higher. Here's the hourly chart. You guys can see we are breaking out of some very key resistance today, which is very nice to see. Absolutely gorgeous formation here. Push higher, break and retest, and a push higher. Look at that. Previous resistance, perfect resistance turned into perfect support. That is exactly what you want to see. So previous resistance into support, breaking higher over this resistance right here. Here's resistance. Here's some resistance. If you actually get over this high here, which you are right now actually, as we speak. Yeah, every chart looks similar, Bernie. They all look the same, right? All the indices look exactly the same. They all have this exact same little break and retest formation, which in my opinion is very nice to see. They're all following this same technical formation. So nice breakout on the Dow. This is clearly the strongest sector right now. Dow's up 0.7, 250 points this morning. It's literally, I think it's breaking over it right now, actually. Yeah, it is. Look at that. The Dow is breaking over this pivot high right now. So we just made a higher high on the Dow this morning. Now, I'm not sure if that holds. We'll see what happens, but that is very nice to see. Higher high on the Dow Jones. Right there. RTY. The Russell actually did it. It finally did it. Probably off the back of some of that GameStop and AMC movement yesterday, but yeah, the Russell did it, guys. I mean, the Russell got back above this resistance. Made a nice higher low right here, right? You see this little higher low that came in? Very nice. You can probably say it's like right around this level here, right? Previous support, turned into resistance, turned into support, right around this 1960. Got the push, higher low, over previous resistance, and we are now pushing higher. I would assume the Russell at least attempts to get back to 2100. That would be my guess. 2100 on the Russell. That's probably where you see this thing move to. Not sure by today, but over a little bit of time, I would assume it probably tries to test that previous resistance level. Very nice little. I mean, it's a very nice little consolidation and support. Right? It's an inverse head and shoulders. Yeah, Daniel, perfect. Beautiful inverse head and shoulders. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder. What is an inverse head and shoulders? That is a bottoming formation. Right? That is a bottoming formation. You can believe it. You don't have to believe it. If you don't believe it, you'll probably miss out. But inverse head and shoulders, beautiful stuff. It probably pushes back to 2100. That would be my assumption here. So right here, back into that previous support. Probably turns it into resistance. Wouldn't expect that thing to just pop right through. That's going to be a very tough level. But, we'll see what happens if we do push into that 2100. All right, guys. I don't want to sound too bullish here. but I just want to get a point across that everything technically is showing upside. So I just want to make sure people are aware of that, right? The technicals are showing upside. Now, what happens tomorrow? I don't know. What happens on CPI data? I don't know. We could fall. We could come back on Friday and see this market tank. Absolutely could happen. Not saying it's not possible, but technicals seem very good. A lot of nice buildup. It's not like it's a one-day breakout. It's a multi-week hold, right? This is like a multi-week hold up of the technicals. This isn't just a one-day bounce. This is a multi-week hold of technical levels, a higher high, higher low, and I have to believe that there is some pressure here to the upside. So I'm definitely going to be watching for it, and we will go over a few stocks that I am watching today, right now. So Nvidia is gorgeous, man. Nvidia looks really good to me. I did have a swing trade on this. I got out of it, unfortunately, for break even because I just didn't trust it, and now I regret that, of course. So resistance turns into gorgeous support. That's exactly what you want to see. That's what the market's doing, and Nvidia is following the market to almost a T. You can see right here. So resistance, support. Big breakout is this 260 level. Not sure why this is at 257. 260. Big level today. Big level. 260 on Nvidia, guys. If we can break that, I think you get upside here. That is a very nice higher low. If you can get the higher high, there should be upside. I don't think you have to assume that the CPI data is going to be bad, guys. I don't. There's like this preconceived notion that everything that comes out of the news has to be terrible. There's just as good of a chance that it's not as terrible, and the market is predicting what it's going to be, and it's what's expected. It can be bad, but if it's expected, then it's not going to cause the market to tank. This is. I don't want to harp on this because people get upset when I do, but these are the opportunities that you have to take advantage of, right? These are the times when everyone in the live chat, everyone that you see on YouTube is freaking out because they think everything's bad. All of the keyboard warriors think they are timing another market demolition, market collapse. And when you start seeing those people come out of the weeds, trust me, that is a good indication of opportunity in the market. It has happened many times in the past, and I think the outcome will be very similar. Now, I could be wrong, but every single dip in the past that I have been through, when people start to freak out, and when people start to panic, and when I start getting people telling me that, the market's going to collapse, that's usually around the time where I start buying. Because that is when no one wants to buy, and this is when people accumulate shares. Smart people accumulate their shares. And when Nvidia is back to all-time highs, this is when the people say, should I buy Nvidia? Should I buy Nvidia now? Should I buy Nvidia up here at 330? Why didn't you buy it down at 240? Right? So I don't want to harp on this. People get upset when I do, but you guys need to make sure you understand that. You have to take some opportunity down here. You have to take some opportunity down here. Everything's overpriced? Yeah, it is. Doesn't mean the stock market has to go down. Doesn't mean the stock market has to go down because stuff's overpriced. So 260, that's the big level to watch. I think another thing I want to point out is I think all of this economic news that we're all seeing every day is starting to skew people's opinions on how to trade the market. I think everyone is trading the Fed. This is actually something that I forgot who said it online, but guys, we can't just trade the Fed. You can't just trade around what's going on in the economy, CPI data, what the Fed's saying. That's not how you trade the stock market. You don't trade the stock market because you're worried about what CPI is saying or what Jerome Powell is saying or what, oh my God, gas prices are high, I'm going to sell my shares. That's just not how you do it. Stuff's bad, inflation's high, but that does not mean the stock market has to go down. Maybe it slows down, maybe it's a slower year of growth, but you don't need to see, you don't need to prepare for a market demolition. And just look at what's in front of you, trade the market, trade what the market's showing you, and stop trying to predict terrible things. The market's going up right now. Trade it. Trade the upside. So Nvidia 260, guys. Watch that big level, and I'm going to see if we get that push into 260. Tesla. Jimmy Chill. Yes, thank you, Billy. Fantastic comment, Billy. Fantastic comment. The stock market trades on future value. That is something that people do not understand. The stock market does not care about what is going on right now in the economy. The fact that anything is bad in the economy right now is not what the market is pricing off of. The market prices off future events. So this is why the stock market, we're going to go off on a tangent here because I think this is useful. I'm sorry if anyone's not interested. I'll go over this real quick. This is a exact example as to why the stock market moved higher all of last year. This is why, guys. Why did the stock market bounce in March and in May and in June? Of course, it has to do with stimulus, and it has to do with, the Fed pumping in money. But that wasn't happening here, right? That was them pricing in the future of what's going to happen, right? The market was pricing in the future here. It was starting to price in the future. Like right here in the economy, guys, when the market started to bounce, everything was terrible. People were freaking out, right? This month between March and April, that is when everything was terrible, but the market was going higher. And this is because we were pricing future events. You are not caring about what's happening as of right now. You are pricing off future events, right? So if you paid attention to what was going on in the economy in March and April, you would think that the market should go lower, right? That's what you probably thought because everything was terrible. But that's not how the market prices off of. All right, let's get off the tangent. Hopefully that makes sense. If you don't agree with me, that's fine. That's why there's different opinions in this market. I accept different opinions. It's always good to hear from other people. But I think freaking out about everything that's going on is going to cause people to miss opportunities. So here's Tesla, and I'm watching this 950, 960 area. I think this is a very interesting level between 950 and 960 right here. If this breaks, this could be a very nice push, right? This could get a very nice push here. 950, 960. I think you move to 1,000. Right? I think you move to 1,000. So 950, 960. I'm definitely watching this area. Let's see what Tesla does in between these areas today. If we go to the hourly chart, you can see there is a very big level here. Look at all this 950 resistance. Resistance. Nice hold, though. Very nice hold. Want to see if we get any type of push over that 950, 960. That would be very nice. If we do, I think you get that squeeze up to 1K. So I'm watching this level today on Tesla. Apple. Killer stock. Awesome inverse head and shoulders on the daily chart right here. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder. You're in the process of bouncing off the right shoulder. This could be a very nice push to the upside, guys. I'm definitely watching this. You guys know I already have Apple positions. If you do not, I would definitely take a look at Apple today. It has been a strong outperformer, guys. Strong outperformer. It's down 4% from the highs right now. If we go to the shorter term time frames, 4 hour, you can see right here, guys, big level of resistance. That's what I'm a little concerned of. You can see right here, resistance and resistance, right? We're sort of sitting right in that resistance today. Nice inverse head and shoulders, left shoulder, head, right shoulder. Nice little hold of this previous level. You can see right here, support around 171. I like that. Need to see this break of 177 today. That's what we want to see, right? A break of 177. If you get above that, I can only imagine where this, I would assume this goes to all-time highs. There's nothing up here to hold it down. So 177, huge level today for for Apple. And I would love to see that break. We will see what happens. But watch that today, guys. Watch that 177. Big, big resistance. You're sitting at 176.50 in the pre-market. Google. This could be very nice. And I'm definitely going to keep an eye on this one. So here's the daily chart, guys, on Google. And you guys can see we had the gap up on earnings, right? Big gap up on earnings from 27.60s to 30.42. Big gap up, and we filled the gap completely. We filled the gap completely here, right? Right here. Gap fill right there. Now, what did we do when we hit the gap fill? We bounced. We held it, and we bounced a little bit. If we go to the 5-minute chart, we are going to look at the shorter term time frame levels, and you guys can see right here. Look at Google yesterday. Look at this little bottom here yesterday at this gap fill level, right around this 27.60. That is exactly where the gap fill started. So the top of this candle is 27.64. That is the top of that pre-earnings candle. 27.64 is right here. So I am definitely interested. Does Google hold this gap and start to push higher? We all know Google had fantastic earnings. We all know the numbers were incredible, some of the best that I've ever seen. And you have to understand that this is just moving down because of overall market weakness. When the market comes back to some type of normalcy, Google will absolutely move higher. People are going to want to be risk on in Google because it is a great company. The performance is showing it. Fundamentals are showing it. This, I believe, is a potential opportunity on Google, on this pullback, this gap fill off of all-time highs. You know, don't wait for the stock. Guys, that's another thing that people need to stop worrying about. You don't need to worry about unless rational analysis, unless you don't want to buy $2,700 worth, then yeah, you probably want to wait for the split. But if you are okay risking, say one share of Google, let's say you are willing to buy $2,800 worth of Google, one share, then it's fine to buy it now because it'll just split. You'll get 20 shares, and it'll actually probably be a better time now than it will be then. So it depends on how much risk you're willing to take. If you're not willing to take $2,800 worth one share, then maybe you wait. But I like this, guys. Gap fill Google looks good. 27.60. I'm watching to see if that bounces. Google's a fantastic stock. It bounced. It came right back off earnings. I'm going to assume this holds up here. It's just a strong name, and really good level to watch here at 27.60. Amazon's breaking out of this channel a little bit. It's an interesting level. So if we go to the daily chart on Amazon, buy high, sell low. That's what a lot of people probably did in this downside. So you can see we are sort of stuck. We were stuck right around this 3,200. 3,200. Good luck buying at all-time highs. It's not really all-time highs. Pull back. If you bought at all-time highs at any time in the, let's say over the any time in the past of all time of the future of the past of all time, right? Of all time on Google, if you bought at all-time highs before October, you'd be positive on your stock, right? So buying at all-time highs hasn't been too bad of an idea. Now, right now, questionable. I'm not encouraging anyone to buy at all-time highs. How can you be on the market and promote all-time highs? It's a great question. Because when you look back at these stocks, if you get a pullback on them, which is not all-time highs, this is a 9% pullback on Google, which is not all-time highs, press Rangelov, then I believe that's an opportunity. When you get a 9% pullback on a stock that just reported fantastic earnings, I believe there's opportunity there. If you don't believe me, or if you don't trust me, or if you don't want to watch, that's totally fine. Not forcing you to be here. Amazon. I like this 3,200 level. It's very interesting, I believe. Right here. Support. support, and support. So we're at this 3,200 level is a pretty massive level for Google. Or I'm sorry, for Amazon. So if we go to Amazon and we look at that $3,200 level, we can see this morning it is starting to break over that level, which I think is a little bit interesting today. So you got a little bit of resistance, 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 and you are starting to push over it. So that's very interesting, right? You get this 3,200 push, and you got this 3,250 breakout, and that would be this would be a nice breakout on Google. Earnings highs is 3,300. Does it push up into those earnings highs? That would be pretty incredible if it does. Really nice hold all week on Amazon post earnings. You can see earnings and look at this hold. I mean, it made higher lows almost every day. So a nice little hold there. And a nice 3,250 breakout this morning. Does it push into those earnings highs? This is definitely something I'd be watching here. Amazon has been pretty questionable of a stock, really sideways. So, I don't know how far this actually goes because look how sideways this action is. But maybe you get a little bit of a push maybe into this 3,300, right? Right into that 3,300, into this previous support, turn it into resistance right around 3,300. You can see right here. That's probably what I'd be watching. Those earnings highs, 3,300 rejection, right there. That's probably where I think this would push into. Right into this 33. Right up here. So nice breakout today on Amazon. Watch that $3,300 resistance today. How many times did Apple go make all-time high? I mean, you sort of dipped, didn't you? Is this not a dip? AMD. Super Mega Ultra Squeeze. The Moab. The mother of all Moas. I can't believe that's a saying. The Moas. Anyone waiting for the Moas to happen? The mother of all short squeezes? That's what I'm waiting for. AMD, 132. Very, very interesting level, Moas. That's funny. So you guys can see previous support, right in this area, support, and you turned it into resistance, and you turned it into potential resistance here again. So 132, right here. That's a big level to watch. 132. You guys can see this was a previous. This is a previous resistance level. Previous resistance here. Previous resistance here. So I'm definitely watching AMD today. We'll see what happens. If it can break over this level, that would be a very big move, right? So this is a beautiful formation, right? Big breakout on earnings, pull back, hold, consolidation, lower highs, higher lows, holding this trend, got the push higher. You need this breakout now, right? That's what you want to see. If you don't see the breakout, then you want to see a little bit of a pullback and a break to the upside. When will Google split? I think it's July. Thanks for the donation, George. $2. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. I think it's pretty far away. I wish I had that answer for you. I didn't remember. I think it was like June or July. If people got the answer in the chat, put it in the chat. June, July split? Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, it's going to split in June or July. I don't know. I'm trying to find the exact date for you. I'm trying to find the exact date. I'm not sure if did they put out an exact date. Each shareholder, here we go. Yeah, each shareholder at the close of business on July 1st will receive on July 15th 19 additional shares. So you have to own shares of Google by July 1st to receive the stock split. You will get 19 additional shares if you own one share on July 1st. And the split will take place on the 15th, right? So you need to own shares by July 1st for it to take place. Okay. All right. So that's the AMD. 132. Watch that resistance today, guys. Microsoft. Microsoft. So I talked about this in my video yesterday, but we'll talk about it real quickly again. 300 has been a massive support hold. You guys can see it right here. See this 300 level? Support, 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 support over 4 or 5 days. Excuse me. Microsoft has held this 300 level. Now it's breaking above 305. 305 is a big resistance level. We can see it here in the 4-hour chart. 305 comes all the way back here from into August and September. Resistance, resistance at 305. And you guys can see we're starting to break above that 305 today. So is Microsoft going to start moving here? Maybe it needs to get over like 312. You guys can see up here. It's another big resistance level. But will Microsoft start to move here? I mean, Microsoft is a stock that I believe should hold up. I mean, it's a stock that has great earnings. It's a stock that I believe is a good long-term buy. So I'm liking this hold that we're seeing here at around 312 or 305. I like the hold. You guys can see this is previous resistance, turning it into support. I would like to see this break over 312, but I'm liking the hold that I'm seeing. I think it probably will eventually try to push into that 320 resistance right up here. But let's just see. We'll have to see what the Nasdaq does. We'll have to see how we continue to progress here on the tech market. But I do like the hold that's coming in. We're above 305. Watch for around that 312 resistance today. Nice little hold here, right? High or low. That's why I'm still in the swing trade. All right. Can Facebook bounce? That's a good question. Can Facebook actually bounce? I don't know. But we'll take a look at it and see where we need to break above for the bounce to actually occur. So it seems like to me that first of all, you're going to need to get over this high right here, 225, 226. That's the first level. That's the first level that needs to break. The next one is around this 230, and the next one is around this 236. So I think you're going to have to see at least some type of break above these levels. You also probably should watch this level too. So you're going to have to start to see some of these levels get sort of broken down. You're going to have to see first 226, 228, 230. You're going to have to see some of that break because, without that, it's just going to continue to downtrend. All right, this is just a massive downtrend. So I'm not going to touch it until I start to see some of these levels break. If these levels start to break, then I will get interested. But that is a first very important thing to watch. Watch the breakout levels. Watch this 226. This is that previous high right here. Watch that's yesterday's highs, and then you have this Monday level at 228, and then you have this previous support at 230. So watch those. I'll wait for it. I'm not going to try to catch the bottom of this. If it starts, if Facebook starts to get up here, then there's some there's some opportunity here. If you start seeing this push, then there's going to be opportunity, even if you don't catch the bottom. So I would just watch it. I would keep an eye on it, see if it actually does bounce, because there's a very good chance it just never bounces, like we've seen on other stocks, like PayPal. All right, we've been looking for PayPal to bounce for just about 6 months now. A little less, 4 months, or let's just say 4 months. You've been looking for PayPal to bounce for 4 months now. It has not bounced once. It's given you something little, but nothing strong. So, you don't want to try to catch the bottom on these things because they just, there's nothing saying that it can't continue. All right, look at PayPal. PayPal is now officially down 61% from the highs. 61% from the highs, guys. Jesus. And this is something that is very interesting to me because, when you look at some big cap tech stocks that are just really solid, like Apple, Amazon, Tesla, Microsoft, when you look at those names, like the staple names, they really haven't fallen. But when you look deeper and you look at stocks that were extremely overvalued, they have fallen a lot. And it makes for the case of, can this market, did we already correct? Did the stuff that needed to correct, right? The stuff that needed to get sort of crushed and the ones that were really overvalued, Did that already happen? In my opinion, I think it sort of did. I mean, you have Square, something that probably was overvalued, down 65%. You have PayPal, down 61%. You have stocks like Upstart, which were just crazy overvalued at a time. This stock is down 80% from the highs. SE was a stock that was just crazy high. This stock went down 63%. This Roku, a stock that was unbelievably overvalued, went down 71%. So like when people like think that these stocks have not gotten crushed, they have. Like the crushes are here. They are the market tank has happened. There are people that have got absolutely crushed on these names. But the interesting part, which I find very interesting, is that some stocks that are good stocks have not fallen. So like Apple, the money all went to Apple. The money all went to Microsoft. The money all went to stocks like Nvidia, like Amazon, the stocks that people that know that the fundamentals are good. It's crazy to see because it's an interesting concept, because really the only reason the market is holding up in some sense is because of the strength on these actually good companies, which people have lost sight of, right? 2021 and 2020, people lost sight of investing in good companies. They got stuck into buying very skeptical and very speculative names like, Upstart and Affirm and GameStop and AMC and Palantir and Penn National, all these small caps, which I definitely invest in some myself. But that is what we lost sight of. Those are the stocks that got crushed, right? The stocks that got crushed are the ones that were not solid. They were ones that were sort of pushed up on excess risk. And the stocks that's held through this, like Apple, that's 4% off its highs, versus a PayPal, which we thought was a great company, down 70% from its highs. So just think about that, guys. When you're out there thinking about, has the market really corrected? In some sense, it really has. If you really look at what's happening on this market, if you don't just, if you actually do your analysis, there is names that have really gotten crushed. Like seriously. I mean, PayPal down 70%, that is nasty stuff. This is back to COVID levels, guys. I mean, we're back to COVID levels on PayPal. It's like nothing ever happened. I don't expect stuff like that to happen on Apple. I don't expect Apple to be a $70 stock. I don't think that's going to happen. It's too good of a company. So, it is what it is. All right. We're going to have to go quick. $5 holla. Thank you, Daytona Jim. Appreciate that, sir. Oh, boy, guys. We're going to have to go real quick here. All right. Press the like button. Subscribe. If there's any penny stocks in here, I'm not looking at them. Okay, Raytheon. Good company right now for, sort of the, some of the stuff that's going on globally. I think that's probably why you've been getting a little bit of a push here. Daily chart. Looks great. It looks great. This sector's been very hot. Do you want to wait for a little pullback? Maybe. Yeah, AbbVie's been sick, man. AbbVie's an insane stock. Maybe you want to see a pullback here on Raytheon. But yeah, this is just a great name right now. Just watch all-time highs. Maybe that's where you're going. 100. But maybe a little bit of a pullback, right? To 92, that would probably be better. But nice breakout. Nonetheless, on Raytheon. Pinduoduo. This is one of those stocks, guys, that you're going to have to forget about. This is one of those stocks that was overvalued in 2021, and you're going to have to forget about. I'm fortunate, unfortunately, I think that's the honest truth. You got a 564% increase on this stock. In 2020, Pinduoduo, whatever, I've heard the name, but it's a ridiculous name, went up 564%. Okay? Please remember that. This stock is going to have a very difficult time to get back to where it was. I don't think it may never go back to where it was. $212 a share. Was it really worth that? In a market we are in today, guys, valuation is becoming very much more important. Valuation of these overbought growth names are much more important than they were. So watch 75 right here as resistance. I don't think this is presenting you much opportunity. It's been sideways for a very long time. Maybe 75, but watch that resistance. But yeah, I mean, you just can't expect these names to go back to where they were. AbbVie is just a sick company. Everyone should own this in their long term. This is an incredible name. Look at this stock. It never stops. It's a fantastic healthcare dividend aristocrat name, and you just can't go wrong right now. You just can't go wrong. So if I was you, I would dollar cost average into this stock every week. I wouldn't care where it is. I would buy it every week, and I would forget about it. That's what I would do. That's what I'm doing. If you want to know what I'm doing with AbbVie, there you go. I buy AbbVie every single week, and I don't even look at it. So that's what I would do. That's what you should do. You get dividends, you get growth, you get more shares for the long term. That's what I would do. That's my recommendation for you. It's a fantastic company. We did AMD. Disney. Earnings, guys, I can't really give you too much here. We want to go quick through Disney because earnings is coming up. What do I think? I believe... What did Netflix say about earnings? I can't imagine them doing better than Netflix. That would be my on Disney Plus at least. I can't imagine them doing better than Netflix. I'm just guessing here, guys. That's all you can do on earnings. I'm guessing. I don't think they're going to do better than Netflix. And I think maybe they'll have some positivity out of the parks. Maybe. But I can't imagine Disney Plus being anything fantastic, like groundbreaking news on Disney Plus. That would be my assumption. There's really been no Marvel movies to get a lot of people on Disney Plus. There's really been nothing like groundbreaking on Disney Plus, it seems like. But I could be wrong. We'll see what happens. It's earnings. I don't know what happens here, guys. You might as well just flip a coin. MGM has earnings as well. What do we think is going on in Las Vegas? I mean, this is a pretty nice comeback, right? Pretty nice comeback. What's LVS been doing? LVS never came back. Earnings, guys. I really can't review earnings charts. It's just not worth it. I mean, this could do anything here. It could do anything. It could go this way. Maybe it goes here. What if a stock went to the left? You ever seen that? You ever seen a stock go to the left? Maybe that happens today. But yeah, I don't know. It's earnings. I would just watch earnings. I would see the continuation. If MGM spikes off earnings, you play it the next day for continuation. That's what I would do. Save yourself the earnings plays. Save yourself from the earnings plays. M-Phase, nice earnings. They just had earnings, I believe. Big push higher. Just watch like this resistance up here. Like 190s. That's what I would watch. That's probably where you're heading to. Watch the 190s. I didn't really read into their earnings. Sierra, if you're here, Sierra was saying it was pretty good earnings. And he's pretty big on it. So I'm going to assume that there's some positivity on that earnings call. So let's see, 190. That's what I would watch. Snow. Really nice inverse head and shoulders on Snow. I think I remember watching this actually. Yeah, it's not as defined as I would like. But yeah, I remember talking about Snow on the channel. You guys can see right here. Little left shoulder. Right here. Head. Right shoulder. Push higher. Breakout. Just watch 310. 310 today, guys. SE. Yeah, I'll go over BABA. I see everyone talking about BABA. SE's a tough one because of how overvalued it got. I'm not quite sure the real value of SE. Maybe there's some opportunity back to the upside here. But it's in a very interesting area. I would want to first see it over 167 and then up to 203. But the first thing you're going to have to see here is a break over 167, 170. All right, guys, I'm going to go extremely quick. I got to go. FedEx, uptrend. Look for that uptrend bounce. That's what I'd look for. FedEx, uptrend bounce. Walmart, I'm very happy with my decision to sell Walmart. This was a fantastic exit at 142. I think you're going to get stuck there pre-earnings. Fantastic exit at 142. Congratulations to anyone that got out at 142 with me. BABA, some upside this morning. It looks like SoftBank is not selling. That's probably why. I saw you guys talk about that news. Maybe a little bit of upside here. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of resistance. So just watch out for that. 128, 125. You need to get over 140. All right, guys, that's it. If you guys could be so kind, press the like button, please. Subscribe to the channel. Let's get to 500 likes. Go buy Options Insider merch. Go get a desk mat. Support the channel. Thank you guys for being here. I'm going to go over to the Discord chat. If you guys want to join, there's a link down below. We trade live there every day. We continue this analysis all day, every day, all night. Longer than we should be because we're addicted to it. But, you know, if you want to come hang out, if you want to come talk to other traders, other people investing in the market, very professional environment, no BS. You know, that's not how this goes. You guys know me. I'm a no BS type of guy. So this is not some, BS Discord. This is legit. So if you want to come hang out, talk to us, get some education, share your thoughts, come hang out down below. And I hope to see you guys in the next one. Peace out.